The season has slipped away from the Miami Dolphins in a way few expected. The 1-6 record isn't just disappointing, it's embarrassing. Every game, the execution looks off. The momentum rares are fleeting, and the whole outfit feels out of sync. What should have been a year where the team pushed toward a wildcard berth has turned instead into a mess of questionable play calling, bad habits, and a general feeling that no one has the answer. Let's cut to the chase. The offense looks disjointed. Key plays that should be automatic now look like projects. The coaching staff keeps dialing up schemes that don't fit the flow of the game, and the players seem unsure. Is the blame split between talent, leadership, and structure? Probably all of the above. One moment you'll see flashes of what we know this team can be. Then the next, you wonder if they're even trying. And when you do that, you've already lost the crowd. Now the trade deadline looms on November 4th. And there's noise around the team like static in a bad radio signal. If you're the front office, the Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel duo, what's your play? Do you hang on and hope some magic switch flips? Or do you admit the roster has too many broken pieces and become sellers, shuffle parts, and try to salvage the future? The rumor mill suggests the phone is about to ring off the hook, igniting speculation. Two of Miami's bigger names, the man who's supposed to stretch defenses and the edge rusher meant to wreck quarterbacks, are being floated. And yes, it stings to even write that. First, there's Jalen Waddle, the wide receiver who at his best looks like the weapon this team needs. Yet he's number 2 on a list of players who could move this year. According to ESPN, while the chance is only pegged at 10%, the building block status doesn't stop the trade chatter. If Miami is already collapsing, does it make sense to move your receiver with 3 1,000-yard seasons in 4 years? He's 26, paid about $36.1 million over 2025 to 26, and someone will pay big if he's available. What does that say if you are willing to trade him? That you believe the fall is deep, and you might not climb back this year. And then there's Jalen Phillips, edge rusher. Injuries have stalled his rise, yes, but talent is still there. He's young, long, disruptive. At full stride, he terrorizes backfields. Some execs apparently believe his upside is greater than his teammates. They see a 30% chance of a trade. Now, if you're Miami and you think you might not contend, do you trade the guy who might become elite? Or do you hold him, hope the chemistry finds him, and tell the fans we believe? Here's where the complexity kicks in. Trading Waddle or Phillips doesn't mean you're conceding the season. It means you're acknowledging something bigger is wrong. Depth, culture, trust. If a game plan fails, you fix the plan. But if the roster isn't built for the moment, you fix the roster. And that's a heavy admission when you've already said, we expect to compete. Let's talk the scenario. If Waddle goes, you're asking your quarterback to turn over your offense's engine. If Phillips goes, you're surrendering part of your pass rush identity. Both moves would shift the balance. But if you keep them and nothing improves, what then? The pressure doesn't just build, it starts cracking the foundation. And for Grier and McDaniel, their jobs might depend on which narrative takes hold. We believe, or we rebuild. Now there's another side, acquisitions. The same article points to Jacoby Myers of the Las Vegas Raiders, an intermediate threat, a reliable target who could fill a hole. At 6'2" and around 193 pounds, he's not the home run threat of Waddle, but he gets separation. He works heavy traffic, and he had 87 receptions for 1,027 yards in 2024. For a Dolphins offense in mid-crisis, that kind of steadiness might be just what's missing. The catch, he too plays on a contract coming up. Do you trade parts to chase the quick fix? Or do you try to extract maximum value from what you already have? Here's a question to stick with. Does Miami's identity still feel intact? Because when a team goes 1-6, you stop talking about identity and start talking about survival. Players look around more than for each other. Coaches issue sound bites over actions. Fans see the slides, the losses, the moments when things should click, and they don't. And trust. That's fragile. Could McDaniel's offense still flip the script? It can. Football's weird that way. A single play, one pivot, a player stepping up can change momentum. But right now, the offense doesn't look like one that trusts itself. The defense leaks. The special teams, You've seen the miscues. And if you can't fix all three in a hurry, you don't just fall behind, you collapse. So what's the next move? If I were in Minnesota analyzing Miami, here's how I guess it plays out. They package Waddle or Phillips, maybe both, for picks. They clear some cap space. They lean into young players. They admit the playoff push this year was over before it began. Why? Because the longer you wait, the less you get. A 1-6 hole is not one you dig out from with hope. It's one you fight into or you bail out of. Of course, there's the alternate version. They hold. They say, we drafted for this. We built for this. We believe this core can still be the future. They keep Waddle and Phillips. They maybe add Myers. They shake up the play calling. They rally the locker room. They try to shift from we're done to we're durable. But to do that, they need urgency, discipline, and a spark. And I don't see that spark waiting in the wings. The fans deserve answers. The players need direction. The coaches must lead. The front office must decide. Are we rebuilding? Are we fighting? The 1-6 record doesn't leave much ambiguity. Something's broken. And that prompt changes, whether you like it or not. In short, the Dolphins are at a fork. One path leads to letting pieces go, accepting the slide, and rebuilding. The other leads to doubling down, holding tight, and betting on the turnaround. Either path has risk. But in a season like this, drifting in between is the worst option. Because if you don't choose, you'll just keep losing. And that's the one thing this franchise can't afford. All right, let's dig deeper into the mess. Because what's unfolding in Miami isn't just about stats or standings. It's something more raw, more unsettling. You can almost feel it pulsing through the sideline shots, the half-hearted huddles, the quiet stares after another blown third down. There's a heaviness that doesn't belong to just one bad week. It feels like something that's been building for a while. Think about it. This roster was built to run, to slice defenses apart, to be faster, sharper, cleaner. Instead, it's sluggish. The timing's off. Even when Waddle finds a pocket of space, the ball arrives late or behind him. When Phillips bursts off the line, there's no support on the other side. Everything that once looked like clockwork now looks like hesitation. What changed? Was it confidence, fatigue, or maybe too much belief in a system that stopped adapting? And the whispers, they've grown louder. You can tell the locker room feels it. Every missed tackle, every miscommunication, every drop pass adds to a question no one wants to ask out loud. Do they still believe in this coaching staff? Because you can sense when a team plays for its coach. You can see it in the way they react after a big stop, in the way they fight for the extra yard. Lately, those moments are rare. Mike McDaniel, the offensive mind, the one who brought innovation and energy, where's that version now? The guy who once seemed 2 steps ahead suddenly looks reactive, not inventive. It's like he's coaching not to lose, instead of coaching to win. Every conservative call on third down feels like another signal that he's overthinking what used to come naturally. And Chris Greer, the architect behind it all, has to be feeling the pressure too. You build a roster around speed and explosiveness, and now it looks like a shell of that idea. The injuries hurt, sure, but every team deals with those. What separates contenders from pretenders is resilience. And right now, Miami looks fragile. You can't ignore the fan sentiment either. The frustration's everywhere. The optimism that carried through the offseason, all the talk about this is our year, has flipped into disbelief. People are tired of hearing, we just have to execute better. They've heard it too many times. It's not about effort anymore. It's about direction. And yet, somewhere in this wreckage, there's a strange sense that not everything is lost. Because despite the 1-6 record, there is talent. Waddle is still electric. Tua, when protected, can deliver precision throws. The defensive front, when healthy, still flashes dominance. But those glimpses need to turn into stretches, into consistency. And that only happens if leadership steps up, not with slogans or optimism, but with accountability. The trade deadline is more than a date now. It's a mirror. It's where the organization looks at itself and decides who it really is. Do you double down and say, we're still built to compete? Or do you face reality and admit, we need to start over? Either choice demands courage, but standing in the middle, pretending it's fine. That's the easy way out. And it's the one this franchise has taken too often.